I played basketball my entire life. I grew up playing since I was 4 years old. I was playing on the street, also played, high school and in college as well. But I will say that I have a different perspective than some people that haven't played basketball, which means I have a different perspective when it comes to women hoopers that a lot of casual fans do not understand or do not have, because that's why we see the lack of coverage in the sports media world, because there's a lot of times people can't gravitate towards women hoops because they don't know how good you have to be to make it to the WNBA, or how good you have to be a professional women's basketball player, make it to the college ranks. Because unlike male athletes, a lot of guys that are males, they can jump out the gym 43, 45-inch vertical, super athletic. Not saying that women hoopers aren't super athletic, because we have examples like Brittany Griner in WNBA who can dunk the basketball, and Lisa Leslie, who's a legend, and Candace Parker. We know all that. But when it comes to some of the women hoopers compared to their male counterparts, a lot of times people may not want to hear this, but a lot of times 7 out of 10 of those women hoopers probably are more skilled than some of the freak of nature athletes that we see in the NBA today. And then the reason is because they got to go out and they have to actually learn how to play the game of basketball. They can't just rely on their athleticism. They can't just rely on only their speed and their quickness. They got to actually learn the game of basketball when it comes to footwork, when it comes to movement in the post, when it comes to making V cuts, when it comes to shooting the basketball, when it comes to handling the rock. A lot of times women hoopers have to learn all these things, and the best women hoopers, that's why people talk about like, oh, go into the WNBA draft. We know it's a shortage of teams, which means a lot of great women hoopers that aren't able to go and get selected in the WNBA, and they go overseas. Hopefully, eventually, we get more teams in the WNBA. But you got to be really, really good to make it to the WNBA. And a lot of people don't understand it, because that is the best of the best. And all these women in the WNBA are extremely skilled, because 9 times out of 10, most of them had to learn the game, because their game is predicated on skill more so than athleticism. And athleticism can also be quickness and speed as well. And there's women hoopers out there that are super quick, super when it comes to speed and agility and stuff like that. But actually learning the game of basketball and working and being able to score at all three levels on the court, and shooting the ball and creating your shot off the dribble and getting layups and having touch floaters and getting to the rim and finishing with either hand. Women hoopers are extremely, extremely skilled. And especially, I bet if you compare some of the more physical athletic players in the NBA right now, and you compare them to Diana Taurasi or Sue Bird, I guarantee you that Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi is cooking guys like Mitchell Robinson when it comes to just skill. If you give them 3 dribble max rule, you got to put the ball on the floor, and you got to create a jump shot, they're cooking them guys. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like Mitchell Robinson and Clint Capella, and even, I'm not going to say his name, because, I don't want people to come into my comments and saying I'm hating and stuff like that. But it's some women hoopers more skilled than some former MVPs that I will say. I would just keep it like that. I'm not going to throw no names out there, and that's just a fact. And you casual fans, they, being sexist in the comments all the time and saying stupid stuff. But all these women will cook any guy that talks all that stuff in the comments and being sexist and stuff like that. They will cook any guy on the basketball court, because not only they will cook them guys, they're cooking some professionals as well on the basketball court. And once again, women hoopers, they actually have to learn how to play the game of basketball. They can't just rely on their athleticism, so they can do things that some of our favorite athletes can't do, because they are allowed to get away. Favorite male athletes can do, because they're allowed to get away with certain things because they're super, super athletic. But that's why, if you really break down some of the greatest WNBA players' game, that's why you can see like a Candace Parker, who has an all-around game. She can do everything on the court, or Donna Taurasi, or Sabrina, who is about to set the WNBA on storm right now. She's about to be lethal. I'm telling you, this lady about to go crazy in the WNBA, and she's about to be a star. and she's probably one of the most skilled women hoopers I've ever seen in my life.